show is not suitable for children, sensitive men, or insecure women. Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
What's the biggest red flag in a relationship?
Low effort and not being honest.
Most of the time, you would think that a bad financial mistake would be spending money on clothes or vacation or like spending money on women. My worst financial mistake was buying a home.
Like a king, give me my crown.
Game time. Game time. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
We're back. Happy Wednesday.
Top of the top.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite program, Blackout.
We're going to get in trouble this week or no?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
All right, man, there's a lot to talk about. Today I'm wearing Wild Things brand. I bought their stuff a few times before, gave them a glowing endorsement. They got some heat, man. Shout out to them. They sent me a care package. I put it in my stories. They got corduroy jackets, like Carhartt style jackets. They got all types of different stuff. So this t-shirt comes courtesy of them. And their Instagram is Wild Things with an S. Wild Things brand. Wild Things brand. Shout out to them.
He doing this for no equity. Clap up for Rashad giving back.
B. Simone, call my phone, man. I'm gonna get you to play. You're not gonna have to buy clothes no more, man. Like, don't worry about it.
Bad for B. Simone.
Don't worry about it. And then this Locks hat is courtesy of the good folks at Godspeed. Shout out to them. Nick. Shout out to the whole unit. Yeah, I really like these Locks hats. You know, I got them in like 4 different colors.
Yeah, you got a bunch.
Yeah, they're crafted very well.
Mm-hmm.
They're very well crafted, like the brim, the structure of the actual physical hat, like
the quality of it. Yeah, it looks amazing.
Quality. It's a very well put together snapback. Highly, highly recommended. Because I know some people was like, damn, like the price is a little hefty. It's not your average snapback. I'll tell you that. It's not your average snapback.
You got to pay for quality.
You have to pay for quality. Valuable lesson in life.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for. Ian, any announcements?
Nope. B-roll. Well, not B-roll. Mid-roll.
Mid-roll.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Let's talk. Let's start out with 50 Cent, shall we?
Investfest alumni.
For sure. Shout out to 50. Legend in
the game.
Tore the stage down last year at Investfest. Get your tickets. So 50, he's been trending. He's always trending, but he's been trending recently for I guess his ex-lady friend, Cuban Link.
Friend of the show.
She said alleged. Is she?
Yeah, she's tuned in a couple times.
Huh? Yeah,
she's tuned in a couple times.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. No, I've heard. Shout out to her.
Allegedly. So allegedly she has said that apparently that during their course of their 2-year relationship, 50 never gave her any money. Only like a few items that he took back after they broke up, and
he took the items back after they broke up?
Allegedly.
Oh, that's
and I guess one time when she asked him for $10,000, that was the breaking point, and he broke up with her because she asked him for $10,000. Okay,
wowzers!
But valuable lesson,
great lesson. And Rashad, lead off. What's the lesson that people should ascertain from this kerfuffle they had? 50 may be the new Buffett.
Facts. I will say this. Never have expectations without conversation.
Okay.
So a lot of times people have expectations without conversation. What I mean by that is, okay, and this is a business lesson, right? Where it's like, okay, I got a new business partner, I'm in a relationship, whatever. I have certain expectations that things are going to be taken care of, right? Like we're business partners. This happens in the podcast space all the time as well, right?
Sure.
Where it's like, okay, I'm assuming that, you know, X, Y, and Z is going to be given to me. We do a show, but I never had any level of communication.
This is
And
my motion of what
now the show is number one on YouTube. The show is number one on Spotify. And we never had a conversation. We're thinking that we're business partners, but the other person might be thinking that, well, it's my show and you came on as a co-host. So you're a co-host in this situation, which is different from a business partner in this situation. Neither one is wrong, but neither one is right either, because
have that conversation.
Neither one had a conversation. So I think in relationships, sometimes I guess when you might be with somebody that you might think is, you know, wealthy, or, you know, you might have level of expectations for that person. Like, okay, they're going to pay for my travel. They're going to provide me with some money. They're going to give me gifts. I'll wait it out long enough until I get it. I'm not going to ask for it because I don't want to seem like I'm money hungry, or this is the only reason why I'm with this person. But I'm waiting for a bag that's never coming. It's frustrating after a while, and that can lead to issues.
50 smart, man. What's the purpose of giving money if you're not married?
So you don't give money to your girlfriend?
Nah, that's something that I don't do anymore.
But you did do it at one point.
At one point, yeah.
You know, it's tricky because once you start to give money, you can't really stop.
Yes, you can.
No, I'm just saying it's like
it's tough.
The relationship is pretty much, it's never going to be the same, right? Like if you've established a precedent of giving somebody money and then you just stop giving them money, that's awkward.
It can be, or I just think, given what I can do with the money, it would be better if I put this into NVIDIA at $93 or $98, and we will have a future together. And I honestly think, like, if you're traveling with a person, and 50 was good to her, she was good to him. He gifted her some things. I saw him and her around Houston. She was well taken care of. I wonder what caused the breakup. It doesn't matter. I don't agree with the taking the gifts back thing after the breakup, but it wasn't as if she was struggling. So, like, if I'm flying you around, if I buy you clothes and I'm taking you to events, what else do you need on top of that?
So you don't think that it's reasonable for a woman to request some level of monthly stipend from a man that she's dating? I'm just doing it hypothetically, right? Because there's certain things that you would need as far as personal upkeep, your nails, your hair. And then if you're together, right, there's certain level of financial issues that might come about. You don't think that that's a reasonable request?
I'm not saying that it's not reasonable. I'm asking, is it for us men who are well-to-do, is it a good investment?
If you have them on a W-9.
Get your tickets to Investfest.
Get your tickets to Investfest.
Blackout is a conversation you have to have after you have ascertained some level of wealth and or motion in combination. So I agree on W-9. Just to flat out give it.
Yeah.
Mistake. Yeah.
W9.
But I think too many men are leading with wallet and they're having transactional relationships because other women are being given that life while women in life are receiving that stipend. They're not happy with the people that they're with. It doesn't take all that. Like,
I'll say this, for most of the time when you give somebody money, it's not going to work out.
Hello, MVP. You know, you ball up top. Go ahead. Why?
Well, because it's one thing, right? When you give somebody money and they're not working for the money, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be enough anyway. No matter how much you give it, because they don't value it the same.
Yep.
So it's a recipe for disaster, and it's a bottomless pit because you'll just continue to throw money into it And
For what?
it's not going to it's like you're not going to
They're
give
not
them
going to
money
satiate the
and then
desire.
they're going to start a business and they're going to grow and then they're going to 10x the business. That's not going to happen.
Now it's different if they ask for the money for a business or investment, or I have an idea to help multiply. That's and I've talked about this on Market Mondays. Like I had a person who I gave money to, and when I gave it to them, they told Ty I should have wrote the check faster. I'm like, I'll never talk to you again. I'll never nothing.
That's
broke.
Wild. That's wild work.
He broke.
Was it a man or a woman?
Man. Like, bro, okay, suffer. Cool. So the reason, and no, we're not experts on this, but there's a ratio between entitlement and, like you said, how much work they would do to receive the capital. And usually if there's no investment into it, it's not worth it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take care of your person, etc. But I think some of these amounts being thrown around of getting 10 grand, 15 grand a month, 20 grand a month, sprinkle. Ladies, if you can get it, you can get it. But if you are well-to-do, if a person likes you, they'll just be happy being in your presence. You won't have to do all that shit.
And protect yourself at all times. If you are giving that type of money, I just think that it's helpful to have a W-9 because how I look at it is it helps both people. From the person that's giving the money, you're not just, all right, I'm gonna help you, but what they say, like you got to help yourself before somebody helps you, right?
Yeah, help me help you.
Help me help you. So okay, make it make sense for me. The W-9, now technically you're a freelancer. At the very least, I can get a tax deduction for this. That's helpful, right? Now, it's taxable income to you, but it also is established income to you.
Yeah.
So when you're looking to buy a home, when you're looking to get a loan, now you have extra 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever you're given, right? You can apply that to your income. And now that's extra income that you have that you can bring to the table. So as opposed to just buying, tons of bags and just giving somebody stacks of money, that's not really helpful, right? And at the end of the day, worst case scenario, if this all falls apart and we break up, well, how did I benefit from this at all? No way. I didn't benefit anyway from this. At least let me get the tax deduction.
And some of y'all be getting okay. So shout to Weezy. Weezy told me there are certain people that she knows who has a kink to be mistreated. So like guys are like, well, not with her because she's in a relationship now, but girls will meet a guy and run up his credit card $60,000 as a form of turn on.
But what if you play the game of, okay, let's have this conversation. There's different worlds that exist. There's a world of high level. There's a world of women who attract high income earning men who demand high purses, not just a purse as far as a bag, but this is the whole thing. They come with that. They'll come with the, I need this package. Like their package is $20,000 a month. I remember I had a client when I was a financial advisor, and she was one of these Instagram influencers, and she was saying that she had a guy that was giving her $30,000 a month from overseas.
It happens a lot.
And she was like, she's not even talking to a dude unless he's giving her $20,000. That's her buy-in. That's her buy-in. If you want to talk to her, it's $20,000.
You deserve to set your own price. I'm just not in the puteria market. That's not my spiel.
So let me give y'all some game when you guys become influencers. If you're interested in that world, go down 2 levels because you can get a girl that's just as pretty
with better morals
with 5,000 followers.
For sure.
What I realized is that a lot of these dudes are just as much as groupies as the girls are.
More so, probably.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna be real. When we go out, do we get hounded more? Like, bro, at Market Mondays in Harlem, a dude moved a girl out the way to talk. I'm like, I don't like you. You fucking Lawrence tailored her out the way. Why?
But
That's
because what I realized is that a lot of these, because we're in the space, so a lot of your favorite influencers, women, they might have millions of followers, right?
Mhm.
Because they have millions of followers, it gives them a prestige. And now the athlete, the celebrity, the rapper, the influencer, they want to be with that woman because of who she is.
Yeah.
So they'll spend
on the belt.
a bag because they're not going for anything less than the bag.
Mhm.
But if you stripped everything away, 9 times out of 10, they just be regular. They might not even look better
Than a
than
girl who's
the girl
not known.
right. Than the girl that's a legal aid.
Who doesn't
Like,
have 90 bodies on her.
that's a fact. Like the secretary at the dentist office.
That mileage add up. I know y'all don't judge and it don't matter, and your past don't matter. Some of them,
Me personally, I'm gonna take the secretary all day.
for sure. I'm taking a person with high morals. I don't want a shadow prostitute. Let's call a spade a spade. That's what a lot of this is. Shadow prostitution. Now, if you can get it, and for those the women who can get 5 or 6 men to give them 20 and 30 a month at a clip, I'm not mad at it. And the funny part is the girls who are having 5 or 6 men pay them that are not the baddest.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're not the fucking finest women you've ever seen. No.
You can make yourself bad at this point, at this day and age.
Yeah.
With enough money, enough resources, you can make yourself bad. But it's all about like what do you value? And that's a decision that you have to make. But okay. Put in chat. What is your baseline for spending when in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
What's your baseline for spending, and what's your max contract that you're willing to sign to get the player of your dreams?
And then all them girls who get all them bags off them dudes, they go fucking lay up with whoever they really like for nothing. Don't even have to go on no dates. You can treat a person well, but I think once you get into that you're a John trick bag, it can be tough. But I think you're at a sweet spot. Low follower count, high morals, job, have no desire to, because like even for the what do you call it, the boss babe era that we're in, a lot of those girls are escorts.
No. Chill. Stop, Ian.
Okay.
Ian.
How you make $2.2 million selling soy candles in Pittsburgh? I like fucking candles. They're not at 1942 a piece. Okay, gotcha. Allegedly, it's AI, by the way. It's not me, not my thoughts. It's AI glitch. But what do I know? But if you can get it, hey, can y'all go tag the sprinkle lady and tell her we need her on blackout? Please. Because if you can get it, ooh. And some of them could be financial managers, or the financial advisors. The little baddies, they're gonna get you 2 or 3 little rappers. Put a little collection together for your little collection plate. So, but what do I know? Yeah, I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I just think, fellas, you got to be careful, because if you have to do all that spending, the more you spend is an indication of how little they like you.
That's true.
If you have to spend 6,000 and 7,000, got to go get a Dior.
But sometimes you don't have to spend. Sometimes you just, you might offer. You might.
Yeah, no one offer.
It just like I said before, when it becomes a financial burden.
Yeah, when it's a mandate, the first hit, and it's like, well, my coin, baby boy.
Sure. But yeah, once you start, it's hard to stop. Yeah. So keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. Don't start something if you're not ready to see it through to the finish line.
Speaking of stopping, I watched our interview with Nicole. When you get to your 100 million, what you gonna do with your FU money time? Like, what you gonna do in all the free time that you accumulate? Because I'm like, the idea of FU money, I think we should say it earlier. But if you had all the free time in the world and you got 100 million tomorrow, what would you do?
Good question. I would if I'm out the game tomorrow,
You're not leaving the game.
I'm establishing residencies in a few countries
For sure.
setting up shop Ghana, setting up shop in the UAE for sure. Those are my first two picks.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll just sort everything else out after that. I'm going on a sabbatical to figure life out.
You going to do Wimby and go up with the Shaolin monks?
I might.
Okay.
I might have to be with Wimby in the Shaolin mountains of China. But what would I do if I stopped today? I would have to think about that. What would you do?
Same, Mexico, UAE. I would move all my family and friends that I want to be close to me. And I would definitely invest in AI to put out content around that I fell off. That's the other part about their firms. When you make a certain amount of capital, they will put out PR as if you lost all of your money, so you can like be off the grid forever. Invest there. I will go on a sabbatical for 3 or 4 years and just trade, hang with family, hang with friends, and
yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, I think I would.
You're never retiring fully, though.
Well, yeah, I think I'm definitely at some point going to come back and get back to, because you know, you got to you have to keep your mind occupied
for sure.
And business is the ultimate chess game that you know is something that's helpful as far as keeping you sharp. So, but I would definitely, you know, I would set my life how I want it, as far as, you know, travel, as far as, you know, just getting up, working out. I'll probably go to the Sabies farm and get the full detox.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I would really like just I gotta reevaluate.
You gotta map it out.
Gotta map it out.
Because I think it's important because sometimes when you get the thing that you want, the depression comes after because you've hit that goal. And if you have nothing to occupy that time, it's not good. It's not good.
That's a fact. Hit the like button and share.
Please do.
Let's show a clip. Shout out to my guy Punch. He he had an interesting commentary about. Well, let's just show this clip. Show the clip.
Russ, I spoke about light motivation versus dark motivation, and I'd never heard that. And it all hit me, and I started doing tons of research about it. Light motivation is about believing the positive. It's about enforcing good. It's about happy words. It's about just believing that everything is okay and it's designed this way, the way that it will. The glass is half full, man. I mean, I know some of it's spilled, but we still have water in the glass. And I think I perceive a lot of that way of thinking as weak. And I tried to understand why. And it's because of my perspective. It's because I don't have light motivation. I have dark motivation. I am motivated by people not believing in me. I'm motivating by that ex that thought I was going to fail. I'm motivated by knowing that she thought I wasn't going to win, but I did. I'm motivated by that friend that used to be around me that was like, yo, bro, yeah, you're going to blow up in music. It's going to be big. And then they stopped being around me. I'm motivated by that. I'm motivated by having a friend circle that was around me all the time, and then they're not. And then I watch and I competitively go, oh, oh, you're still driving that car. And it wasn't about being a hater. It was about knowing that I was right and they were wrong. It was about proving them wrong. But why did proving them wrong become so powerful to me? It's because my way of living has been dark motivation. When people don't believe in me, I win more. When people count me out, I make the shot. When people are like, yo, you can do it, I actually started to find myself to become uncomfortable when people would be too overly positive. Come on, man, you can do it. I'd be like, it's okay. You know, don't worry, I believe in you. All right, I bet. I couldn't even ingest the positive. I needed to hear like, yo, bro, you know that they don't think that you're going to win this, right? You know that they think that you're going to fail, right? You know that they think that they're going to be the one to get this W, right? And that's when I would win. Every time my back was against the wall, I came out with a bigger trophy. The dark motivation, although some people say it's unhealthy, it's my truth.
Okay. Interesting. When it comes to motivation, right? What motivates somebody? How do you feel about this?
I've been on both sides, and I really think you have two choices in life: the dark side and the light side. And I talked about this on Market Mondays, but I think you can either create from a place of making people's lives better and having the greatest impact for a positive, or you can go off the fuel of hate. And I used to go off the hate train, but the work is more pure when you create out of light and just ignore the noise. And I think that's a trauma response for a lot of us to say, well, I'm gonna prove the girl who didn't want me wrong, so now she sees that she should have been with me. My other thought on when guys say that is, why weren't you just that motherfucking bad when you had her? Why wait 6 years to get your money up and work out and then be a fucking philosopher? Be that then when you have the moment. Like, that's why I put my all. That would be like me saying, okay, I messed up at Investfest last year. I'm gonna be mad at you and Troy because I messed up, and I'm gonna go to another conference and kill it. And now it's your fault that you missed out. Or I could have over delivered and brought the kids and the drums out, hit the pyro, deliver on the information. And I think it's only a certain amount of time that if you are creating out of hate, that is sustainable. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years. But when you're creating out of love and having impact, I think that can last a lifetime. But what do you think?
For me personally, it's always been a combination of three. Cause I think there was one aspect that he didn't mention. So he mentioned being fueled by hate, right? He mentioned being fueled by love, like positive encouragement. All right. So for instance, as a parent, right? There's different parenting styles, but like, you know, I'm in the sports space, so I go to kids' games. You got some parents that they on their kid. Yo, why you ain't do this? Get back on defense. Drill sergeant approach.
It's too much. Yep.
And the theory with that is that you have to push kids for them to be successful, right? Now, there may be some truth to that. There may be some trauma to that, but that's a theory. Then the other side of it is parents that are just encouraging, right? Where it's like, good job, good shot, good. Because the theory with that is that people respond better
to positive
reinforcement than they do to negative criticism. The third thing. So both of those two things are you're reacting from outside, and you're reacting from outside influences.
Yep.
Right. Like, I want to become a millionaire because my 5th grade teacher told me that I would never amount to nothing.
And most teachers, y'all be lying or you're dumb as fuck, and then you're serving the class, and then Miss Horowitz got mad and told you. Every teacher is not saying it. Can we stop that lie? I've never had a teacher be like, you're not going to amount to nothing. I may have some teachers who may not like me, but you aren't going to be shit. I'm not buying that, but I get the point. Go ahead.
So yeah, so you got that. All right, I'm going to be a millionaire because my 5th grade teacher said I wasn't going to amount to nothing. Or I'm going to be a millionaire because my 5th grade teacher told me that I believe in you and that you're destined for greatness. And like, this is the pathway that's in front of you, right? Both of those are reactions to outside influences. The third one is you pushing yourself. Like, I don't need somebody to put me down. I don't need somebody to lift me up.
Lift you up. You just.
I'm self-focused because this is a vision that I want for myself. It's not about anybody else. It's not about proving somebody wrong or proving somebody right. Yep. It's about moving in a pathway forward because I truly believe that I'm destined for this, and I want to work for this. For me personally, it's always been a combination of all three.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm completely honest, the bigger one is the self motivation for me.
Self-drive.
The self drive for me has always been the biggest motivation. Of I'm not necessarily fueled by hate. I'm not necessarily fueled by positive reinforcement either. I'm fueled by the life that I want to live for
Yeah,
myself,
it's
the
really
life that
self-love.
I think I'm capable of. The you know, I have vision, and this happened since I was a kid. So I guess whatever it works for you, you know. But I just feel like, yeah, if you focus too much on negativity, it's still going to make you angry. Even when you
Sure.
get successful, you're going to be angry.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be. You ever see somebody that's like a successful person that's always angry?
Mm-hmm. I know quite a few. And even if you beat the person who you're at war with, they're going to move the goalpost in your victory. They're going to make an excuse. Well, you got lucky, or this partnership, or God blessed you and not me. Just create out of love. But I do have a question for you since you said that. Are there more successful athletes that are birthed out of single parent homes or out of dual parent homes? Because going to that self-drive thing, I talked to, it's one of the things I love about Xander. Like, never have to like make him get up. He's usually up before me, puts his own clothes on, does his homework. I never have to monitor him. Talk to a trainer. He has a theory that kids that come out of a dual parent household end up being better athletes and entrepreneurs due to that enrichment of self-love, and they end up driving themselves, opposed to single parent if they have to drive themselves out of anger to get themselves out of that situation. But you've been around ball longer. What do you think?
I think it's changed. I think when I was growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, even before that, you would think that people that come from the bottom, let's say,
Mhm.
right, had an advantage
For
because
sure.
they actually needed to be. They needed this
There's a
scholarship.
different drive. Yep.
They needed, like, they didn't have food and they was playing like they was hungry. That was the thing when coach used to say, like, yo, you gotta play like you hungry. Like, you know what I mean, like, you gotta want it. Like, you gotta really go out there. And I think that that's changed now because of so many resources that's been put into we talked about this before, personal trainers.
Yep.
And having, you know, kids going to yoga and kids going to all these different schools like IMG Academy, where even if you don't have that same level of hunger, because you might not be struggling to eat, but you're afforded so many opportunities that somebody that comes from, you know, socioeconomic background that's lower than the average person is not afforded to. Just to join the AAU team, you got to pay $2,000, right? So I think now having two parents is an advantage as far as athletes, not just from that standpoint, but from the economic standpoint of what it takes, the investment that it takes to have a high level athlete. The average, you know, low income person is not going to be able to afford that for their child. And even luxuries like taking kids to practice, right? Like, you might have to take kid an hour and a half to practice. If you're working, right? How are you doing that? It's only so many kids that's going to be able to get rides from their coaches. Like, you got to have a parent that has free time, enough free time
to
take
to be able to travel, to
pay for you to go to Cleveland for an AAU tournament, to take you to basketball practice on, you know, Saturday morning, right? Or Wednesday night at 6:00. Like, it's a lot that goes into the sports thing. So I think you're going to see more and more and more middle, high income kids, as opposed to what it was before, where it was like, you know, low income. That was the story, right? Like, low income kids making it out the projects. This is your opportunity. I think that those days are kind of coming to an end almost.
That's a good point. Shaq had a conversation with his son when he wanted to be in the NBA, and Shaq told his son that he lost everything in pursuit to be great. Do you think it's worth it to lose family moments with friends that you can't get back to be a great, or is there a middle ground that should be Like being number 2, being AMD. Is it better to be AMD and have more work-life balance?
So he said, can you repeat the question again? He said,
He
like,
was talking to his son, and he was telling him, like, you don't even have to go this route. You can just work with me in Reebok, and we can increase the market share of Reebok. You don't have to go to the league. Like, I lost everything in terms of family, marriage, friendships, being one of the greats. Do you think it's worth it in the long term to lose the intangible things in life to be one of the greats?
did he lose it because he was one of the greats, or did he lose it because of what came with being one of the greats?
To me, they're one and the same. Let me Euro step, Shotty. Thank you.
Because my whole thing is, look, it's one thing to lose your family because you're on the road, you're traveling, and you're not spending time with them, and your wife files for a divorce. There's another thing to lose your family. And I'm not saying it's a Shaq. I'm just saying just in general.
Clean it
But
up.
he's admitted to it, so I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing to lose your family because you're on the road, you're traveling. They're okay with that, but then you're also cheating on your wife at the same time. So that's not directly related to sacrifice. That's personal decisions that you're making because you have fame, because you have access, because you're rich, you have more exposure, and you can do more things, right?
Yeah.
But that's not directly related to, like, okay, I made a sacrifice, and my sacrifice is the reason why I lost my family.
Or Tom Brady, similar. The last season, he didn't want to not play for the Buccaneers, and Giselle gave him the ultimatum. He chose to go back.
If you get ultimatums in life, I don't know what it is.
Wake it up. Let's wake it up. Ooh,
I don't know what it is to get an ultimatum.
She checked out. She was telling you, yo, I want the little trainer. You're not spending, but you do have to have some balance to spend time. But to get the ultimatum is cool.
You have to have balance to spend time, but you also have to understand that you were who you were, especially him. It's not like they were together since they were 16 years old. She met him when he was Tom Brady.
Yep.
So you know what you're getting yourself into. And even if it's an extra, he wasn't going to play forever. So even if it was an extra year that you had to wait, or extra 2 years, you have to accept that yourself, that you've married the greatest football player of all time. You're not just marrying just anybody. So yeah, he's not around right now, but you should have known that when you got with him.
But she was rolling around with the jiu-jitsu trainer. He had her in the rear naked choke. So
once again, that's a decision that was made.
Fellas, when they start giving you the ultimatum too, that's like a clock starting if they're gonna fuck with the new person. Some of y'all in Love Island in real life.
Life's too short for ultimatums. Because what ends up happening is that, and this is some game for just the every average day person. Our OG told me this back in the days. He said, look, don't put your dreams on hold for your family. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, look, man, like, one of my biggest regrets is I had dreams, I had aspirations. I want to do all this. And, I got married, and my wife, and everything just slowed down. And, I had a family, I had kids, and I love my family. I love my kids, but it ruined my aspirations of what I wanted to become as a person.
How did him getting married ruin his aspirations? If going back to your point, if he made personal decisions to still not go after them, I get it because of balance and
because the pressure that's put on you. So it's like, all right, you can't. Let's say I'm an actor, right, and I'm 21 years old, right? Yeah. My dream is to be an actor. Well, if you want to be an actor, 9 times out of 10 you got to go to LA. So I get married, and I'm like, okay, look, we got to go to LA. My wife at that time is a school teacher. She's saying, like, look, you don't have a job. You're an actor. You don't have a job. I actually have a career. I just started working as a school teacher. I have a pension. I have health benefits. I'm not leaving New York to pursue your dream to be an actor for an invisible bag that's never coming. You need to stay here, or we're not going to be married anymore. You stay here. You have a kid. Now you really can't leave because who wants to leave their kid? Before you know it, you have another kid. Before you know it, you're 30 years old, and your dreams of becoming an actor is out the window, and you're just working. Just working to survive. You've gained 50 pounds, and no, that happens. That happens though.
It happens a lot, bro. I've seen a lot, especially in the age bracket we're in. I'm seeing a lot of men just check out on their desires and aspirations. I'm like, bro, you have more technology and tools than ever. It's like, bro, Nah, bro, I'm good. I'm just working. I'm like,
No, that happened. As a black man specifically, that's what. Remember, Kendrick had that song when he was like, "You got like 5 years for maximum." Pac, he quoted Pac interview.
yeah,
Like you got 5 years to really, because what happens is by the time you turn 39 times out of 10, and sometimes it's even earlier than that, your dreams of becoming what you wanted to ever do is done. And you're just on survival mode. The most detrimental thing in society is a man that's just in survival mode. It hurts.
It hurts the economy, the community.
It's painful to watch.
Yeah,
It's painful to watch somebody that you know is literally just waking up to
just
survive the
going through
day.
life.
To survive the day.
Yeah,
Right. And me personally, I never wanted to do that. So I would never put myself in that situation, even if I have to make tough decisions, because the regret of thinking about, damn, what if I could have done this potentially? I could have potentially, but you never know. Regret's going to kill you more than failure.
You don't think the regret will pile up regarding the family aspect too? Because I know men who pursue getting the bag and don't take care of their kids or don't spend as much time at home, but all the wealthiest people on earth. Bezos just got married and rented out fucking Venice for $62 million, whatever it was. You don't think you can have both? I feel like in our community, we feel you can either have family or the bag, but not both.
Okay. Chasing your dreams is never no excuse for not taking care of your kids.
Yep.
Let's just put that out there. But sometimes in life, you got to take a leap of faith. I'm saying this from firsthand experience, where it's like, I have trust in myself.
Don't get in trouble.
No, I'm just saying,
okay.
I have trust in myself and I have faith in God.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw this out here. I'm gonna chase this bag. I'm gonna make this all work eventually.
At what cost, though? Don't get in trouble. I love you.
We don't know the cost, but what's the cost of your mental health?
That's true. That's another point. Comment, y'all put in chat what y'all think. But
you know what? Yeah. When you're forced to do something, you got no choice but to do it. I don't look at taking care of kids. I don't look at taking care of kids as optional. Yeah,
and it's a joy. That's the part that people forget. Like seeing your kids thrive is an amazing thing. Yeah, and the generational wealth part, like to see Xander grow up, Jordan grow up, Nas grow up. I remember when they were little. Now they're like young adults. Like that's dope to see them elevate. I just think a lot of times in our community we focus on one or another when the answer is usually both.
Yeah, no, taking care of your kids not optional.
Yeah,
but chasing your dreams not optional either.
Oh, I agree.
So it's like I'm finding a way to take care of my kid no matter what. But I'm also going to chase my dream no matter what. Also,
got you. Okay,
you can't chase your dream and forget your kids.
No, hell no. The kids got to be a part of the dream.
That's the motivation a lot of times.
For sure. You know? Yeah, definitely my motivation. Shout out to my baby. Proud of you. And two, a lot of times y'all be trying to take them girls who sell them for $20 a month, and then you end up having a kid with them, and you're embarrassed and don't want to take care of it. Be careful who you pick. Somebody with high character, high morals.
The 20 a month play gonna get you jammed up every time.
That's crazy, yo.
Every time it's gonna get you jammed up. Okay. That's it's a tough conversation, but it's a real conversation. It's needed. Okay.
Investfest right around the corner. Let me ask you, like, what's the best way to network at Investfest that you haven't talked about before? Because I feel like there's some people who are getting tickets for the first time, going for the first time. What can they do to stand out from a crowded marketplace when they're moving through the vendor marketplace in the audience and like the nighttime activities?
Good question. Be regal in your attire. That's one of the 48. That's one of the 48 laws of power. Stand out physically. I know people are gonna say like, "Oh, that's shallow advice." I'm gonna get to some other advice, but okay. People, you say that there's a saying that says, "Don't judge a book by its cover."
Mhm.
That's one of the dumbest sayings of all time because
It is.
we only judge books by their cover. You deserve to be rich. That's why you should get it. It's a nice cover. Like when the first thing that you
It
see,
matters though. Yep.
it's a fact. The first thing that
matters.
you see, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that you see is somebody. So you don't have to wear a tuxedo, but you should put some level of thought into your attire. Me personally, if I was going, I would wear bright colors. I might wear a red linen. Like, you know what I'm saying? I might wear something where it's going to look like I'm going to look like I'm somebody. That's important.
That's a great point. Can you touch on that point more? Because you're going to get treated how you dress and how people perceive you. I've heard certain actors say this, like, if they see me as an actor or as a star, I have to dress in star attire all the time. I'm like, damn, you at the grocery store? Like, yes.
That's a fact. You gotta like, especially if you trying to become noticed. Like, okay, Ian could wear anything he wants because people know who he is, but he's still gonna wear a suit.
Yeah, for sure. Because
he understands the importance of appearance. But if he didn't wear a suit, this doesn't make or break the situation. But if you just graduated from Morehouse, or you gotta, and you don't gotta spend a lot of money on clothes either. You can get nice clothes for a relatively decent price, but put some thought into it, right? Yep. Get a haircut, right? Make sure you have the mints.
Grooming matters,
because the worst thing you could do is talk to somebody, and it's personal hygiene. Deodorant.
Scrape your tongue, because y'all be having them little white tongues like a Labrador Retriever.
Deodorant.
Vibe, yo. I promise you. No.
These are all things that's vitally important. Now, outside of that, okay, now we got that. Business cards are getting thrown in the garbage.
For sure.
2025. If I can give you some game, business cards are getting thrown in the garbage. What you should have is your digital ID card that you can have on your phone that you can scan. But more importantly, you got to have your LinkedIn together. You got to have your socials together. Like, if you're looking to connect with somebody, the first thing I would do is try to connect with them on LinkedIn, because that's a real business platform.
And it's underutilized.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And you can connect real business. Like, that's easier than just trying to shoot somebody a DM on Instagram, and they usually have less followers on LinkedIn anyway. So it's easier to kind of connect with them on that. I would be very intentional about who I want to meet. So if I'm in real estate, I know I'm going to every real estate panel, every real estate conversation. When MG, the mortgage guy, speaks, when last year we did a VA loan, even if I'm not a veteran, I'm going to go to that panel.
Yeah.
And I'm going to network with not only the people that's there, but I'm going to try to meet the people that's talking on the panel. 9 times out of 10, especially those panels, you can actually meet those people, right? It may not be in that moment of them on stage, but they're going to be in the marketplace. They're going to be moving around, because you might not meet Magic Johnson, right? But 9 times out of 10, especially the Friday workshops, like Investfest starts Friday morning. All day Friday are all workshops. Not celebrities. Vitally important that you attend those workshops. Yep. These are people that's providing information. These are people that might work for Fidelity, BlackRock. These are people that are mortgage professionals, that's in lending, right? Like, these are the real people that you really gotta network with, connect with. And don't network by saying, hey, my name is Rashad, here's my information, give me a call if you're ever in Minnesota. I love what you do. I followed you. I did some research. I'm also in real estate. Don't even say, how can I add you? How can I add value?
Yeah, stop saying that. Figure out how you can.
Say, this is how I can add value. This is my value add. Like, I'm in Tampa. I can connect. Like, think this through, but give somebody a reason why they want to connect with you. Right. Vitally important. Like I said, I always tell this story. Shout out to Chris. He does the social media for us. He's become a vital part of the operation, and he gets paid handsomely. And this all started at an EYL University networking event 4 years ago. He came up to me and he said, hey, I can optimize your TikTok. He didn't say, I think I can help
Okay,
you with
yeah.
social media.
Or if
He
you
said,
would let me, maybe. Yep.
he said, I can optimize your TikTok. I guarantee you that I can get to 20,000 followers in 3 months, and I don't want no money for 3 months. I don't
Same
want no
thing with me
money.
in Revolt. Mm-hmm.
All right, what I got to lose? At the
300%
time, we didn't even
engagement.
have TikTok. Like, you know what I'm saying? All right,
Yep.
you put me in a position where I can't
And he
refuse.
delivered.
Right. More importantly,
That's the more important part. The back end part, getting the client is one thing, delivering the result, incredibly important. So, great lesson.
so yeah, that would be and stay at the right hotel. There's a hotel literally that's right next to GW. It's connected to GWCC, the insignia. I would stay there. Look, this isn't the time to be a celebrity. You don't need to be staying in Buckhead and being on your Hollywood flow. Stay where the people's at.
Mm-hmm.
Be in the lobby.
You're gonna get a lot of networking done that way.
A lot of networking done that way, and we have a discount code so you don't need to rent an Airbnb. You don't need to stay in Buckhead. You don't need to be like simple. Sometimes keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it simple, right? And remember what you're here for.
Mm-hmm. Great tips. Great tips.
Yeah.
Only thing I would add probably would be, instead of having a pitch deck or business card, airdrop a video pitch deck. You got to do something.
Say that airdrop. So explain it. Like
So normally, like 60 seconds, 30 seconds. You know how you like have the trailer? Have your pitch in trailer format, 30 seconds, 1 minute maximum, opposed to, hey, can you get my number? Because people are going to forget your name, your number. Airdrop them that. Tell them to add it to their favorites. Check it out later. Have all your call to actions in there, because you need something to stand out. Like, I'm going to be honest, even if I get 40 business cards, I may not remember the person. They go in a bag. They may go to an assistant, my dad, somebody. By Sunday night, I forgot. But a video, I'll remember. Secondly, you guys should be following up with the people that you want to meet from now until the day of Investfest. Every week, I would be dropping people a certain piece of information to help them. Not, if you want to connect, let me know. If I can add value, let me know. No, add the value. Like, add to, even, what can I do to help? You can help me by not asking, how can you help, and help. As soon as I came in here, Parker helped right away. Y'all saying it's AI. He helped day one. Put some points on a fucking board. And then third, have your pitch together. So, like, for me personally, I'm not even going to say I do investing. I help people make $10 to $50 million a year. Let's talk if you got time next week. Have a pitch that's not, I look at global equities and figure out what derivatives to play. Result. So, and yes, you got to dress regal in fashion, because there is a difference in how I'm treated in suit versus t-shirt and cardies. There's a huge difference. Trust me. So and there's a difference how the women treat you too, fellas. So come and try and be the best dressed while having the best information. Whew, home run.
And keep your composure. Yes, Atlanta, we understand somewhere there's a lot of women there, right? But
Be cool.
Remember the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get sidetracked.
And if they see you locked in on your business, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, something about him. He just all on this." You can't be a thirsty bird all in a convention hallway. No, they're watching.
But I will say this though, when I started as a financial advisor, this guy, he was talking to us and he was telling us, he was a real successful guy. So he was saying that you got to be intentional. And he was like, you got to be intentional about networking. You got to go to the places that you like. You just can't wing it. So he was like, my daughter, she says she wants to get married. And I said, what are you doing to intentionally to get married?
Mm.
And she was like, oh, I'm on dating. So he's like, no. You're not doing something intentional to get married, right? Like, what I mean by that is,
where are you placing yourself?
The relationship conversations that we have on Blackout a lot of times is based off of you got to meet the right person. Investfest is
it's a great place.
Like, we can't, some people, like, they'll try to criticize different events. that I see. I'm not going to name the events because I don't want to put any negative light on it. But they'll say like, oh, people they go in there and they hooking up. That's not necessarily a bad thing that you're connecting with somebody there, right? Because in my brain, if you're looking to meet a significant other, I would rather meet somebody at an event like that because I know that you're there for a reason. You paid money to be here. You've taken time out of your summer. It's on a weekend. You're here to empower yourself. That alone puts you in the top 10% in the dating pool.
Absolutely.
Right? So it actually is a pretty good place to meet people, but do it the right way.
Yeah.
Don't be obnoxious. Don't be obnoxious.
Don't be thirsty. If she says no, it's no.
No means no.
Just chill. But if you dress regal in fashion, have your shit together, smell well,
they'll come up to you.
For sure. Oh my God, I love you so much. That's
what do you do? When you hear the what do you do? You're halfway there.
But the other part, you can't over-index on a super fan because some of y'all popular. Oh my God, I love you. If they come out too aggressive with the love, be careful. You're gonna catch a case. Got to be like somewhere in the middle. Can't be obsessive. I'm cool. Gotta be careful.
Okay, that was good. That was good.
What do we know?
That was good education. My mom asked me this question a few weeks ago. She said, "At what point do you introduce a woman to your mom in dating? Right? If you're dating somebody, at what point do you introduce? Because her theory is that don't even introduce me to somebody if you're not going to get married, because it's you're doing unnecessary stress to them because they might forge a relationship on their own."
That's a great point.
And then 2 months, y'all not together, but what happens to so now they're still in a relationship as far as they're talking, communication, whatever. And it's that imagine if you did that 10 times. Now you got 10 different people that you still like, you know what I mean? And you washed your hands, walked away from it. But the people that and it's not just your mom, but we're just using that as an example. The people that you're introducing said person to, they could be building their own relationship with said person.
It happens, and then a relationship ends and they gotta cut it off, and it's awkward. So that's a great question. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this.
Not an expert on this. So what's your opinion? What's your opinion? Wake it up. Chat. What's your thoughts? Chat. Put in chat.
No clue. Parker, what you think? How long should you wait? Parker don't know either. I don't know. Rashad, back to you. What time frame?
Yeah, I guess it's engagement.
Gotcha.
I guess it's it may not. I think engagement is a little too late because it's like, damn, you got to engage with somebody. I never even heard about this, but I never even met this person.
That's crazy.
But slightly before engagement. Slightly before engagement. Maybe like a month. Like a month before.
Sound advice. 2 or 3 months. Before.
Yeah. Before. But you know you're going to get engaged.
Got you. Okay.
Like you know you're going to get engaged before that actual engagement happens. I think an introduction is needed.
Okay. Like what if they just happen to be at the same place, like birthday party, and then do you not?
No. You gotta. Yeah, you can't just like.
Oh, okay.
Out your face, but should you introduce another question? You would somebody that you're dating, right? It don't even gotta be a girl. You with somebody that you're dating. You went to high school with a girl, or somebody you have female friends, right? Female friend comes up, hey Ian, what's going on? How you doing? Da da da. You know, man.
Female friends or former that were on the roster?
No, female friends.
Just platonic.
Oh, okay. They come over. Da 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 da. Is it your? They don't. So one or two things happens here. The first thing is that, hey, how you doing? My name is Jane. They introduce themselves to the young lady, and the young lady introduces herself. The second thing is that they have the conversation with you and don't even acknowledge her, Lord. Man, look, they don't say anything to her.
Oh, that's rude as hell.
Is it your obligation to introduce the person that you're with
to the friend?
Yes. Is it your obligation?
It's not obligation, but I think it looks weird and messy if they speak to me and don't speak to significant other.
So is it their obligation?
Yeah, ideally. If not, I'll bridge the gap or give the context. Like, yo, this is my friend. I don't want her, but she want me. I'll give the details, but I ain't fucking with her like that. But she, you know, she may feel away. Cool. Just so you know the landscape of what it is. But I feel like if you got a good female friend, she'll do the, hey girl, I'm such and such. Nice to, you know. But the ones who don't introduce, they be plotting. There may be some plot, or they may not like the girl that you with.
Some side hate. They sizing her up.
Mm-hmm.
They looking at her, they seeing, shoes. I ain't like her shoes. Da 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 da.
Women
Like,
are so judgmental, yo.
the worst when it comes to the judgmental vibe. So, okay. So you think that it's up to the woman to introduce herself to the other woman?
I think it's good etiquette for sure. What you think?
No. We're not talking about good etiquette. Whose responsibility? There's 2 people that's responsible. There's 3 people that's responsible. Let's say that we're playing a responsibility game. New game on Blackout. This is a responsibility game. Whose responsibility is it? The woman that's coming over to say hello to you, the woman that you're with, or you?
The person who's coming up. If you're coming into the circle and you just say hi to me or not, and not her, that's rude to me.
So it's her responsibility.
Yeah, the friend. Yeah,
she's the A responsibility.
Yeah,
and you're the B the responsibility.
Yep.
Okay. Chat, how you feel about that, chat?
Yeah. Even like when the fans do that, it'd be like that. It looks away. Even if you're trying to get off the "I like you" play, it looks weird if she's right here and you don't say nothing.
Because if the tables turn, I feel you on that. Because if the tables turn, right? If I know a girl that I went to high school with, that I'm cool with, whatever, and she's at the bar and she's with a dude, if I go up to her, yo, what's up? I ain't seen you in so long. I'm immediately after doing that, yo, what's up, bro? How you doing, Rashad?
Nice to meet you. Yep.
I'm not even gonna wait for her to introduce me to him. Out of respect for him, I'm gonna let him know, like, bro, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's
I'm not on that time.
Yeah, yo, bro, how you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
So you're right. You're absolutely right, actually.
Yeah, because even I'm trying to think when this happened last. Oh, when was it? Aspen? I saw somebody from high school, shout to Polly, shout to the husband, the kids, all that. She came up, said, hey, I ain't seen you forever, and immediately talked to her. Yeah. The little birds who be trying to get the "I like you" off, they be the ones who be trying to squeeze in between and all that.
So some women, how y'all feel about this? If you with your man or you with somebody that you dating, and a woman comes up and hugs him and has a conversation and doesn't acknowledge you,
arms under the shoulder. Y'all be wilding with them hugs, leaving your makeup all on the shirt. Like,
so if they don't acknowledge you and then they walk away, do you feel a way of who are you mad at the most? Are you mad at the
hug
woman?
And then try to hold your hand at the end when they walking off?
Are you most mad at the woman, or are you most mad at the man that you're with for not saying, okay, no, we're not doing this here. This is the introduction. Yeah. Put in chat. Okay. Little Duval.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's play this clip.
All right, let's play this clip.
I want to see who's gonna lie right here real quick. If somebody gave you $50 million right now to start all over again, would you do it? But this the catch. You got to stop all communication with all your friends, your family. That means your mama, your daddy, and your kids too. You can't talk to them ever again. Would you do it for $50 million? Let me know.
Okay. Little Duval.
Shout to Duval. Friend of the show. We got to get Duval on the show.
No, we definitely got to get Duval on the show. $50 million to start your life over and not speak to anybody ever again?
Bruh.
That's crazy.
What would you do?
You know, life is great, man. Like, I don't value money. Well, if we play our cards right,
I'm like,
thank
God to not have to. Yep.
if we play our cards right, like, but no, I'm not. I don't value money more than my family. I like to not speak to my parents and not speak to for $50 million. Like, no, of course not.
No, stupid. Now a lot of people would, but no. When I first saw this, because I messaged him on Twitter, and I'm like, you think people will really do this? He like, you have the world fucked up if you think most people wouldn't take that money. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. He said he thinks 90% of people would take the money and give up their relationship with their family, friends, kids, and I care about my family and friends too much to do that.
So, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it.
Thank God for investing in global equities and man, what? Like you said, play the cards right. That should be
no brainer.
Support level. So what? Nope.
Support level. Okay.
And for the record, I love y'all. I do. But if you get a $10 million loan, you can't just like run the loan into the ground and have put up $10 million in collateral. That's
ill advised.
You can't do that. It sounds good. Like everybody who be like, yo, well, if you put the money into the market, you get a loan on it. You need specific margin lines to be able to do that and a certain net worth to do it. You can't do that off of $3,000 or $4,000. Just be careful of the advice that you guys do. It's not that easy. It's easier doing quantitative easing to get the loans on the capital from the stock market than if there's tightening or we're sitting at 5%. So it's information that sounds good and information that's actually real. So just be careful. I love everybody, but get your tickets to Investfest. And if you want to learn how to invest in the market, win on demand, know what to invest in, go to ianinvest.com and join Red Panda Stock Club. Amazing conversation we had on Tuesday. The replay is out in Telegram today. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. Prices will be out next week, next Friday. And the presentation probably is going to be the best one that I've done. So I cannot wait to see y'all at Investfest, where you can get real information about how to invest in the market.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's play this clip from 60 Minutes, pretty disturbing, about the tech industry in Kenya.
Honestly, it's like modern day slavery because it's cheap labor. It's cheap labor.
Like modern day slavery, says Narima Wako Ojiwa, a Kenyan civil rights activist, because big American tech companies come here and advertise the jobs as a ticket to the future. But really, she says, it's exploitation.
What we're seeing is an inequality.
It sounds so good, an AI job. Is there any job security?
The contracts that we see are very short term, and I've seen people who have contracts that are monthly, some of them weekly, some of them days, which is ridiculous.
She calls the workspaces AI sweatshops with computers instead of sewing machines.
Okay, I actually saw that episode when it came out, and if so, to add full context to this, they call Kenya the Silicon Valley of the Safari, something like that.
That's interesting.
Where it's like the tech hub of Africa, especially East Africa, but like the whole entire continent. Like it's positioned itself. They got this company called M-Pesa, which was peer-to-peer payment systems years ago, before Cash App even. So like they're very advanced society when it comes to technology. They have a lot of educated people. So what a lot of tech companies have done, like major tech companies, have set up shop in Kenya, have hired workers, and they're doing all kinds of tech work as far as like artificial intelligence. Like they're like streaming the artificial intelligence, like looking through it, flagging it, doing all kinds of different things. And they were saying, I watched the thing, and it was like one guy, his job was I think Meta might have hired him, one of these companies, but his job was to screen porn all day, to flag it for AI. And he was like, what it did was ruin his his life. He had to go to therapy because he
Oh,
was like
depression. Yep.
he's been watching porn all day, and it's ruined his sexual drive.
Mm-hmm.
He's like he don't even want to touch his wife at all. Like it's caused a bunch of psychological problems for him. And they were just saying like, you know, you're doing like they put you on like these jobs where it's like you got to complete it in hours. Like it's almost impossible to complete the job in the amount of time that you have to complete it. As soon as you do complete it, you got a new task. You're getting paid next to nothing. So it was like very harsh environments. So that's why when she was like, it's like slavery, and then in 60 Minutes, she was just like, slavery, like, what do you mean? Pretty crazy for a white person to like push back when somebody black says that, but whatever.
Especially in Africa,
but but yeah, so it's like the new age sweatshop, right? You're not making products with your hands, but you're using a computer. But imagine if you had to stand in front of a computer all day and work like a lab rat.
Happens at social media companies too.
$1 an hour. And they're like, okay, well, why would you do that? Well, they don't really have a lot of alternatives. So if you're a highly skilled person, and now it's even harder to get to America, and all these other countries are shutting down places. So if the country that you're in might not have that same level of access, then when a major tech company comes into your country, you're thinking this is going to be an opportunity for me.
Yeah, to elevate your life. Yep.
Right. And then before you know it, you're working and you realize like, damn, this is actually hell.
And I won't say which company, but there was a company that was valued at a few billion. And then after they did some investigation, it was VA companies in India and in Pakistan who was doing all the AI coding behind the scenes. You have to be very careful. Everyone's treating this gold mine, and in the gold mine, there's some exceptional companies. We've talked about them endlessly here on Market Mondays. But if you have a startup that comes out of nowhere that's making promises for $3 a month in the App Store, it's probably not agentic or authentic AI. There is probably human powered on the back end. So everyone's just adding the AI wrapper to the company to increase the valuation, but this is definitely the downside of it. The GPUs cost too much for everybody to have an AI version of something. Like Microsoft bought a nuclear power plant to help. Like we went to NVIDIA. It's not cheap. The infrastructure there is not cheap. So if a startup is promising you the same impact as DeepSeek or OpenAI for your niche, it probably is not authentic AI.
Speaking of AI, can we do this? Can we play this clip of Peter Thiel? Let's play this.
Sure can.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions in play.
Okay. So Peter Thiel, you want to tell people who Peter Thiel is if they don't know?
Yes. One of the founders of PayPal, founder of the Thiel Fellowship Program, where he invested and gave people alternative to college. One of his investments that has paid off best is JD Vance, who's current vice president of the United States. Wrote an amazing book called 0 to 1, which I think is required reading for every entrepreneur in the world. And the interviewer said he's the Antichrist. I wouldn't go that far, but
and Palantir.
Yes, founder and Palantir.
So one of the most highly regarded minds in technology ever. One of the most influential people in the world. One of the foremost authoritarians on artificial intelligence.
For sure.
So when asked that question, now people are going to say, okay, wait and see the whole clip, but just to even think about the answer is disturbing.
He doesn't have a right to think about the answer. It's a PR trick. When you're about to flub, you either say great question or you pounder profoundly to get your answer together. It's I've been talking about Peter forever. It's complicated because of some of his leanings, and not just politically, but the approaches that he has to overtaking government. I think he's going to be the first person that deploys tech at scale. And I think Peter eventually is going to run every government on earth that matters, with the exception of China. Peter is what Elon, I think, dreams to be. Even in that PayPal mafia formation, because of the success of Tesla, because of the EV mandates, he's been bumped up. But Peter has an ego, and he was some of the real brains behind that operation. With the installation of JD Vance in office and Palantir doing so well, I think he's coming to reclaim that throne of richest on earth and that's reported and smartest on earth. But it's definitely there were some tells in this video. If I was advising him, I would have told him not to do this video, not to do this interview.
Man, I mean, it is interesting and also disturbing when he says, does human race have the right to endure, right? And he says, I would complicate, like,
it's complicated.
It's a simple question. Does the human race have the right to endure on earth? Why do you have to think about the answer to that question?
Who's smarter, Bill Gates or Peter Thiel?
Not sure.
You're good, bro. For those who don't know, that's like that shit Shy be doing. Just draw the foul. If there is a proposed depopulation agenda, wouldn't endless war be a way to get us there faster? Opposed to mosquitoes being deployed. And also China has those mosquito drones, if you haven't seen online, that are probably this big. The war games, like we've said it, real life is way more fascinating than any fictional movie you can watch. And the interesting part, and I've always asked this to Democratic leadership, who's going to be your Peter Thiel that helps fund it and combat some of this? But when you have the software, the infrastructure, a great entrepreneur, I'm not pro or against Peter. His book is remarkable, but I don't see anyone stopping him. And I think, like you said, being quiet, the power of being quiet, if he stays in the shadows, he can get this off. This is not a great look for your plan for world domination. But Peter, I think, has Elon trumped, no pun intended, in terms of intelligence. Probably Gates, and Gates may be one of the smartest people to walk Earth ever these last 200 years. Peter is there. Not the most likable, though, if you see this video. And that's why I tell you guys, you have to do the research on who runs the world and who's funding what. Even for my traders, Peter used to trade the futures market. You have some of the brightest people in the world trading these markets, and they're thinking about disparity and pair trades and acidity rates in Africa to know how much cocoa is going to be. Then you take that data set and code it and build war machines. Like he's Tony Stark. So, just interesting.
All right. Well, okay. We covered a lot. Anything else we need to discuss?
We're gonna get in trouble in the first segment. Gonna get in trouble in the last segment. Okay, we did good.
I think so.
Yeah, we brought truth to a lot of conversations.
I think so. So, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been. Oh, I will say this. On Market Mondays, I said we're gonna be in Connecticut July 17th. My apologies. We're actually gonna be there July 19th. So shout out to Elevate, Celebrate.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, get your tickets to that. We're gonna be in Connecticut on July 19th with the good brother Mixmaster David family, amongst other people.
Podcast Summit with Dave Shands.
Podcast Summit, Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm looking forward to that.
We'll all be in the building for that. Myself, Ian, Troy. The band's reunited. Shout out to Dave.
Good
dude.
Yeah, good dude. Dave gave one of my best interviews too. He's a good person. Great interview though. I didn't know he did this on the fly. I was like, what?
Oh yeah, he just wing it.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Okay.
Dave. But I like what he's doing in the business with the podcast studio that he
I do
has.
too. I do too.
I like that. I like that play. So shout out to Dave.
What's one thing you want to see me bring to the presentation or stage at Investfest?
From optics or information?
Either or.
For information, I would like to see a roadmap for the next decade.
Okay.
I would like to see an investment roadmap for the next decade, as far as what areas, what you know what I mean, like
ENGPT.
Yeah, like
Got you.
As far as the aesthetics, you've done a lot. You've done a lot.
Gotta over deliver. I'm brainstorming that all. It's been fun.
Maybe like a video that's kind of like an AI journey. That's maybe like when you do the roadmap of 10 years, you have a video that's playing that's actually showing, okay, this is like, okay, like, what I mean, like,
video stop.
Yeah, like
Riot. Write them down.
So it's like a
minimum. Thank you.
Visual journey of like people, like it's like a movie almost.
Riots, come on.
That'd be dope.
See, Shans, when you get the idea one time, you got to take the oop, because he ain't gonna get many of them. He's gonna keep one or two a year. You stop listening, he stop talking. Yeah, whatever. I think it's good.
But nah, man.
Roadmap for 10 years.
Anything you do is always magical. I remember you came with the mask on with the 200 people.
Yeah.
Then you came with the live band.
Yeah.
The live band was last year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the kids band from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So yeah, you always think outside the box. So whatever it is, I know it's gonna be top level. But yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. Stay tuned. A lot happening. A lot happening. Yep. I'll be on after Magic Johnson Sunday. Get your popcorn ready. It's gonna be a great one.
Motion picture, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and let us know who you want to see. Blackout. We did that last year for VIP night.
That's great time, Shannon.
Give us some suggestions for that blackout or just VIP night in general. We putting together the VIP vibe. So last year we had Shannon Sharp. That was pretty dope.
That was a good conversation.
Shay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go read 0 to 1. That was a 10-year roadmap to see what was coming. Yep. I'll give you the next 10 years on stage.
We are in. That would be dope. Like it could be like, we are in year 2035.
Riots. Get to work. Get to work. Ooh, Jensen provided some inspiration. I was like, damn. Okay. Especially for a corporate presentation. Their team did magic. I'm not gonna lie.
That was dope. He had the little robot.
Robot. Meech, let me get a baby tiger. I'll drop Alpharetta.
It's only right. It's Atlanta.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but Jensen did a hell of a stage show at that NVIDIA conference. That was pretty dope. That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope.
Great roadmap, too.
That's a fact. That's a fact. All right, guys. It's been real.
Love y'all.